Okay, welcome back. It's Suridav here. Today we're going to play the second half of Super Mario Bros. 3. That is to say, we're going to play World 8. So there's not a lot to say at the start here. A lot of these levels are auto-scrollers, which means there's not an awful lot we can do to speed up the process. We've just got to try our best not to get hit. And in some of the levels it's easier said than done. But in this first level it shouldn't be too difficult. So there are these first couple of levels, which are auto-scrollers, and then we've got the hand trap levels. So there are 3 of those, and as you pass over them on the map, there's about a 50-50 chance that you get dragged in and forced to complete one of them. So that means all in all you've got a 1 in 8 chance of running across all 3 without being forced to play any of them. Which obviously that's the optimal outcome. But whatever happens today, we're going to play through regardless. We're not going to keep resetting until we get a good, or a lucky hand trap run. But I'm just going to show you it either way. After that, we've got an airship level, which happens to be the fastest auto-scrolling level in the game. But it's still an auto-scrolling level. So there's still not much we can do to affect the speed, apart from don't die. That's the big important rule. Then we've got 8-1 and 8-2, and they are not auto-scrollers, so we actually can do a little bit to improve our times on that to increase the speed. We've got a fortress coming up. And then one more level before Bowser's Castle. So this is actually a really long little world, and it's split up into about 4 pieces. So this screen here, this is the first screen where we've got our first 2 auto-scrollers. So this one takes place, so the first one was tanks, this one is ships. It's not much more difficult except because of the rocking of the ships. It's a little bit harder to stay out of the way of the cannons, and this one has got big cannons all the way through, whereas the first level only had 1 big cannon right at the end. Another thing that's a little bit more difficult about this level is that in the first level the rocky wrenches came up once and that was it, whereas in this level they respawn. So if I was to defeat this one here and wait a couple of seconds, he's back again. So there's nothing we can do to get rid of them permanently. But they don't cause us too much trouble. And neither do the cannons. So again, it's just a case of getting through it, getting to the end, and then we can carry on with the speedrun then. So we're right near the end of the level now. We need to watch out for that one random bomb that's there for no good reason. There's no pipe that spawns him. He just happens to be there. And then we got Boom Boom, who's an incredibly difficult boss. As you can see, he takes 3 hits to take down, which is 2 more hits than Bowser usually takes. So Boom Boom's really tough. And now we're moving on. These are the hand traps. So it looks visually like there are 5 of them, but there's only actually 3 of them that can drag you into levels. So hopefully we'll get a nice low number, and then we'll be able to keep going. We got sucked down into the very first one. So these are the hand trap levels. This one is the one that's full of Hammer Bros and other bros. So we had the Fire Bro at the start, the Hammer Bro pair, Boomerang Bro, and Sledge Bro. I think that's all of them. I think that's all of the sort of the bro style enemies in the game. And for our trouble, we've picked up an extra super leaf, so we can use that if we need to. But it would have been better if we just hadn't gotten dragged into it. Though we only got dragged into one of the hand trap levels, so that's not terrible. It's better than average. So I guess on average you're expecting to get dragged into 1.5. Obviously you can't actually get dragged into 1.5, but that's just the way the stats works. So 1 is slightly better than average, 2 is slightly worse. 3 is almost certainly a reset. So this is 8 dash, I guess, airships. It's the fastest sort of scrolling level in the game, I'm pretty sure. It's in fact so fast that I don't know whether the Rocky Wrenches respawn or not, because they're not on screen fast enough for you to be able to take notice. Boom Boom is no harder than he was the first time round. And I think we get the pleasure of fighting him one more time as well. Maybe 2. Yeah, I think we fight him twice more. He doesn't really get much harder. So this is 8-1 in the 3rd screen of World 8. I haven't got a really smooth way of getting through those first pipes, so it just looks a little bit like that. Ah, that's nice. So we've got these, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the bullet bills to jump over there. Because it can be quite difficult to use the musical note to bounce up, and this is what we didn't want to happen. So what I should have done is I should have slowed down before I picked up that last card. If you end up picking up 3 cards, star cards in a row, then you get this nice little cutscene where you win 5 extra lives, and that eats into your time. So what you want is you want to get a star, and something that isn't a star, so either a mushroom or a flower. If you're running at full speed, when you get to the end of a level, you generally get the star card. But it's always difficult to remember to slow down enough that you don't pick up a star card for one of them. It sort of goes against what you want to do a little bit. We would normally face the Angry Sun in this level, but because we took that pipe at the start, we've managed to avoid the part of the level where the Angry Sun spawns, so he doesn't bother us, which is nice, because he really gets in the way if he does chase you through the level. Now we've got 8-Fortress. This can be a little tricky to navigate, but the thing to remember is that it exists on 2 planes. We've got this plane, and now we've got this other plane, which is basically on the other side of 8-Fortress. So you've got the lava-filled side, and you've got the less lava-filled side. We can just about walk through that wall there, which saves us a little bit of time. And we're going to use that trick one more time before we finish the game. So what happened there was there was one high gap, which I tried to stand up in, and the game tried to force me out of that one high gap, and it did that by accidentally pushing me through another wall, which worked to my advantage because it meant I didn't need to break the blocks to get through the wall. And we're going to use that trick in Bowser's Castle as well to skip a section. We've changed into Fire Flower now, and the reason we did that is it's just much quicker to dispatch Boom Boom as Flower Mario. And we've got to face him one more time, and we also got to face Bowser, and Bowser is much easier to dispatch as Flower Mario as well. So hopefully we get to keep this this power up for the rest of the game. We've only got 2 more levels, so this is the second 8-Tanks level. and for most of it we're going to be up here. So I can't really see where I am, but if I duck down, then my shoe, sort of at the bottom of my shoe appears on screen, and I can use that to get a good idea of where on the screen I am. Also, because I'm Flower Mario, I can shoot down there, and that gives me an idea as well. So I've jumped across that gap now. Just staying out of harm's way for as long as I can, and now finally I'll jump down. But that's obviously got to be the easiest way through the first half of that level. There's no special fast way to complete the level because it's another auto-scroller, but we can at least take the easy way through the level. There we go, so we're over that little mini gauntlet there. And I think we're right by the end of the level now. Yeah. There we go. Boom boom one more time. There we go. Just as difficult as the first time round. And now it's on to Bowser's Castle. So, in the ideal world, we keep hold of the flower power-up. We're going to jump over the top of those laser statues so we don't get shot. Then we need to make our way up these stairs without getting hit by the rotodiscs. I don't usually have to stop there, but I was just being a little bit cautious. And this is where we use that trick again, to skip a section of Bowser's Castle by forcing the game to push us through a wall. We're nearly in the clear. There we go. So we've managed to get to Bowser as Flower Mario. Now we've just got to try and keep the power up. So there are two ways to beat Bowser. One is to keep attacking him with firepower, and the other is to force him to drop himself under the bridge, which he'll do if he ground pounds enough times, and which is basically our backup plan. There we go, taking care of him. That was actually a pretty smooth World 8, especially given that we only had to do one of the hand trap levels. Quite happy with that. So we've got to wait for the time to tick down, then we can go through this door, and then the timer ends, and the entire run is complete, in fact, because Super Mario Bros. 3 is the one that we always play at the end. It's the last of the 4 games that we play over the course of a Super Mario All-Stars run. So then the princess gets to have her little joke, and we watch the credits, and usually we go around again.